In this knowledge clip, I'll tell you how the making of Newsreport works.
First thing is the gathering and following news. You have to read newspapers, magazines, look at news sites, but also very important, be aware what you see and hear in your immediate vicinity. Small news can be very interesting. Select a news item, produce interviewees and make appointments. And this takes time, so don't wait too long in producing and be proactive. Don't wait for days to get an email back. Use your smartphone. A caller is faster.
Heeft u misschien ook een direct nummer van hem voor mij, dat ik niet via u weer hoef te bellen?
Make a preliminary interview by telephone. So then you'll know if this person is the right one for your report and you'll know what he or she wants. And explain how long the interview will last. A lot of people assume the recording will take half a day, and if you can explain it will take about half an hour, they will easier say yes to the interview. When planning your report, you will need to consider the 4 W's and the H. Who is involved? Think about who will be able to tell their sides of the story in an interesting way. What is the story? Get the facts right before starting your report. Where is the story happening and where's the best place to film? Why is the story important to your audience? Which points do you need to focus on to get their interest? And last, how did it happen? And if you have considered all this, you make a script with quotes, scenes, voiceover. And if you had a preliminary interview, you already know the answers of your interviewees. A good preparation can save you a lot of filming time and you will keep control over the interview. For instance, this case, you make an item about the CO2 emissions and you're interviewing a farmer about this. Then you talk with the farmer in his stables, not in his living room. And you have to let him feed his pigs, cows, or walk through the field surrounded by his cows. Always think in front about possible scenes. Let the farmer do something. Otherwise your report will be much too dull. And don't forget to record the set noise. If you edit in your edit, it surely enhances the experience of your viewer. Check your equipment before you go out. Does everything work? If your interviewee is ready for recording and only then you find out that your battery is dead or there is an audio failure, you'll have extra unnecessary stress. Be on time. You can prepare your equipment in a relaxed way. You have the possibility to feel the situation. Have a chit-chat with your interviewee. Everyone on the spot is more relaxed, so you get a better report. Then again, be sure that your equipment works. Make a short test run and explain why you are doing this. Your interviewee will expect nothing less. You want to be a professional, don't you? Be aware that a news report contains almost always 4 elements. And when you go out recording your item, you'll have to gather all this. First, the basic interviews, the quotes of interviewees on a perfect spot, and be aware of good audio and light. Second, let your interviewee do something. This is an interview in the action, or just film what is happening. This is called a scene. Third, a voiceover and or a stand-up in which you explain your story. And fourth, the B-roll, the beauty shots. Shots that add information to your story, like hands, feet, surroundings, pictures on the wall, and so on. This is a report from the BBC, and I want you to look at this video and ask yourself if the reporter inserted the 4 elements.
In the punishing cold of an Arctic mountain in the remote Svalbard Islands, a doorway leads to what's meant to be the safest place on Earth.
Good thing they've gritted the road there.
Scientists are on their way, approaching through this isolated and hostile terrain, and I'm with them as they carry a precious cargo of seeds to be kept out of the way of whatever climate change might bring.
I mean, how often do you get these deliveries?
As we have deliveries 3 times a year.
The box of seeds is about to go through the first line of security. There are half a dozen in all.
I've just come down the access tunnel that's cut into the mountain here. This place is 130 meters above sea level because if the worst happens and global warming melts all of the polar ice caps, this project will still be safe. Okay, so this is the next stage.
The deeper inside the mountain we go, the more the temperature drops. The store is designed to survive any natural disaster.
The seeds can last here for a very long time. It depends on what crop it is, but some of the crops may survive for more than 4,000 years.
You're really imagining this place functioning, keeping the seeds safe for 4,000 years?
Well, it's difficult to say. I'm sure that the pharaohs thought that their pyramids would last long, and they did.
The last barrier to the store itself.
Okay, here we go.
Inside here, it's minus 18 Celsius. The rows of shelves are filling up with seeds from all over the world. There are samples of nearly half of the most important food crops, brought here just in case.
Samples of seeds used to be held in glass test tubes. Now they're kept in little plastic packets, and there are more than 800,000 of these in this vault. And everywhere you look, there are examples of why this place matters.
There are seeds from Syria, plants that are good at coping with drought, and some have just been returned to the Middle East. When harvests are ruined by extremes of weather, having backup copies of key seeds is essential. Another threat is flooding, which can damage national stores of seeds. This happened in the Philippines. And with industrial-scale farming, most food comes from just a dozen varieties of plants. So keeping different genetic types helps to guarantee supplies.
It is for the survival of mankind in the future. I mean, we need the diversity, all the different kinds of plant material to get foods for the future. We have a lot of problems seeing us now. Climate change, environmental problems, and to tackle that, we need genetic variation.
So, in these remote mountains, this place is meant to be a safeguard against apocalypse, an insurance policy for a warming world. David Schuckman, BBC News, in Svalbard, in the Arctic.
And did this report have the 4 elements? The basic interview, action, voiceover, B-roll? Well, yes. Let's look at the basic interviews. Simon Jepson, the manager, was the first one. And then you had Roland van Bottmer, the director, with some quotes. Then the action, the scenes. Yeah, you saw scientists on the way outside, going inside and going into the vault. With set noise, never forget it. You had a voiceover from the reporter himself and even a lot of stand-ups from the reporter. It's a kind of style, you don't have to do it like this, but then again. And last but not least, the B-roll. You had snowfields, you had a car, total and close, a sign with the global seed vault, a label on the box, hand and key unlocking the doors, an icy door, a door handle, and the scaffolds in the vault. Yeah. And last, but you had also external video from Syria, the Philippines and the USA.
If you have all these ingredients, you'll have enough raw footage to make a very nice news report. See you later.